One. Okay, I think that means we're good. How is everyone doing? My name is Jacob. Welcome to Secret Society Underground. All right, I'm not even pretend like this is a real thing. I'm here with a longtime society member. I'm here with Januarius. How are you doing today, brother?
I'm good. How about you?
I am spectacular. And just for the followers, could you let them know the name you go by and your stage name and how to pronounce it the right way?
Yeah, so my actual name is Steve, so feel free to call me Steve. Januarius is just sort of the persona that I guess I came up with for my musical project, sort of like Saint Vincent and Annie Clark, so Steve's my name. Call me Steve.
Okay, so I have no idea what those references are. Like what was that? What is Januarius? Or how do you say how's the right way to pronounce that? And what's the background to that?
Januarius is the way to pronounce it. It has a couple ways I could describe the meaning of it. It means January in Latin. It would be my father's name in Latin. Uh, I kind of just, I liked the way it sounded. It was kind of ambiguous in a way where it could be a name, it could be a band. Uh, didn't necessarily pin me to any particular style of music. So, just kind of fit. So I took it and rolled with it.
Hell yeah. So how would you describe your music?
Uh, I think, fundamentally, I'm a guitar player. So I was always attracted to those types of music that had kind of had like weird, interesting guitar going on. So, like the Wipers is one of my favorite bands ever. That's a huge influence. Stuff like Sonic Youth, Television, things where there were like out of the ordinary, very original guitar playing going on. And, my the way I play, I think, was sort of like rooted in my attempts to sound like that. So, I guess I would describe it as, I kind of like I've attached myself to the term art punk, uh, because it sort of encompasses a little bit of everything. But there's always been a bit of a like dark edge to what I do. So, hence I think a lot of the like dark wave and goth people have kind of gravitated to my music. So, generally speaking, I'd say it fits into the broader category of post-punk. I've tried to attach the art punk label to it, but whatever whatever floats your boat. Like I'll take any reference, any fans.
Hell yeah. So let's get a bit of background. When did you start playing music and what was your first like instrument that was like your instrument? Well, you said it was guitar. So let's go a little deeper than that. What kind of guitar was your first guitar?
Ooh, my first guitar would have been so my dad played guitar when he was younger. So my first guitar was his, uh, which was it was a like not a well-known brand. It was something called a Kappa Continental. Um, I played that until my own guitar. The one I use for the most part over the past like more than a decade has always been a Gibson SG Special, which I've modified a good amount.
So how old were you when you started playing?
Uh, Officially, probably about 16. That was when I always kind of played with the guitar, but didn't really know how to play it. When I was around 16, I was like, I'm gonna actually figure out what a chord is, and then it just kind of snowballed from there.
What was the first song you learned?
I think I think it was House of the Rising Sun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and
one of the
that,
first ones everyone's got to learn.
yeah,
So, like, how old are you?
too old.
Too old okay, so I'm trying to picture like what time period you're at 16 at.
Would have been in the
Would have
90s.
been in the 90s.
I was a teenager in the 90s.
Okay, so yeah, you did mention Sonic Youth was a big influence of yours. Were you into like Smashing Pumpkins at all? Because I hear like a
Yeah,
little bit sometimes.
yeah, definitely. Especially the first two albums, like Gish and Siamese Dream, those were huge favorites of mine.
Hell yeah, big fan of Gish. I was a big fan of Melancholy. Prop, in my opinion, that was their last real album. After that, yeah.
Yeah,
So
it started to change after that. I feel like when he shaved his head, his superpowers left.
yeah, I love that quote from him where he's like, "Yeah, I didn't want to be one of those pretty boys, so I shaved my head." But it's like, bro, we saw the Bullets video. We
Yeah,
saw it,
yeah, he wasn't really a pretty boy before that either.
right? So yeah, what do you got releasing
Hmm.
music wise?
Yeah, so I got a new single coming out on May 1st. My album came out about a year ago. I was hoping to have a full new album completed by now, but life happened along the way, and I got like laid off from a job and all other sorts of stuff that has delayed it. But back in the groove, recording things. First single coming out May 1st. I'm hoping to have another one shortly after that, and the full album maybe in the summer or the fall.
Hell yeah, got any shows coming up?
Nothing right now. I'm just focused on, I really want to get the record done, and
Okay,
then I'll probably start doing some shows again.
hell yeah. When was the last time you played a show,
Uh,
or have you even performed at all under this
yeah,
name?
yeah. The last show I did was in August. I guess this is primarily a recording project, but I always want to be able to perform as well, and probably will transition into playing more. So hopefully, sometime this summer, I'll start adding on some additional shows.
Hell yeah, but that's becoming more of like a common thing of people just being recording artists. Like in the metal world, there's a band Buried Alive. You ever heard of
Mhm.
them?
I've heard of them. I've never listened to their music though.
It's amazing. But I could be wrong. I could be corrected in the comments. Hopefully, people are watching this and they're going to leave comments. But I think they've never played live, but they're huge. And I think it really comes down to like really the funding for playing shows is getting to be real expensive, especially with the gas prices going up.
Yeah, I think everything about making music nowadays and performing music is against the artist. So whatever you do, it's tough, whether it's recording and releasing an album, going on tour, or even setting up a show in your home city.
Yeah, and I think like it's kind of an understatement to say that we're in a dark time, but this
Hmm.
is like really one of those times where um so in East Texas we have a saying, and the saying is something along the lines of you burn the pastures so fresh gray can grow.
Hmm.
I kind of feel like we're in the pasture burning stage. Um, the industry is up in flames. We've
Yep.
kind of always known that it was a monopoly ran by a couple people at the top, but now it's just so mask off that people are losing hope. And with the AI bubble coming, that's going to pop. I think we're going to go into a new phase of music history, and it's real important for us to come together as a community.
Yeah, nobody really knows like what's gonna come next. Hopefully, some sort of phoenix rises from the ashes, but everybody's got lots of guesses, but we'll see what the hell happens. It can't get any worse.
Well, have you seen any other artists that you think are exciting or have had fun listening to?
Yeah, like as far as a new artist, there's lots of stuff out there that I like. It just kind of it sucks that artists today are not going to have the opportunities that people did in the past. I'm a huge fan of Prophet Prison. Not sure if you've ever listened to
I've
his.
talked to them a couple times.
Okay, awesome.
Really cool.
Uh, Another artist from Seattle. He goes by the name Only Monsters. I'm pretty sure you.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
videos for him.
Okay, yeah.
If it's the same person, I think I've done a couple of videos for them.
Yep. Those are two current favorites that I really enjoy a lot. I dig Poison Ruin, you know.
Hmm.
So like there's stuff out there, and everybody's trying to make it work in one way or another. It's just it's difficult, because you're working with so little now. Not that any true artist has ever really been in it for the money, but at the very least, you kind of want it to be able to pay for itself. Now it's kind of like everybody makes money but the artist.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's what's really kept me from making music was realizing that like, oh yeah, they're the ones not making everyone else is making money off them.
Yep. It's almost like you need a job in order to be able to be a musician. And then because you have a job, you can't really do everything you would normally do as a musician, like go on tour and play shows. We're living in like this upside down world right now.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap things up, let's just talk about some fun stuff.
Hmm?
Okay, off the top of your head, top three horror movies.
Ooh. Uh, I mean, I'm definitely a fan of like I got to put The Exorcist up there. Like
Hmm.
that's a great movie, period. Aside from whether it's horror or not. Uh, I also got to go with some old classics, like maybe those like 1930s Universal horror, like like not the original Dracula. Well, no, I guess that was the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
put
that was the
something like
original.
that in there, yeah. Um, and maybe even the silent, Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney from the 1920s. Just like the makeup that he was able to do back then without access to all of the like modern techniques was amazing.
Yeah, when I was in like my early 20s, I lived at a kind of party house that was all like real artsy kids,
Mm,
and we were like really into old silent films like that because we had a projector in the living room, and one of our favorite things to do during parties was put on some old horror movie like that, have no volume, and like create our own soundtracks to the
yeah.
movies. That was some of the funnest stuff ever.
Yeah, the aesthetic of them was just amazing.
And
I'm a fan of like the Dario Argento movies too. Like I'd
mhm.
probably throw something like Suspiria in there as well.
One thing I'm surprised I haven't seen pop up more often is a lot of those movies are public domain,
Hmm.
which means you can show them anywhere for free. I'm surprised we haven't seen any like silent film groups pop up. Like, because you could charge a $5 admission there because it's public domain,
Exactly, yeah.
and then
It's
get.
it's crossed my mind, so
Mhm. Well,
maybe
all right, man.
that'll be the next
Before we get it
project.
wrapped up, let's get the name of your new song,
Hmm.
the date it drops, and I think that's it.
So the new song is called Days. It's coming out on all streaming platforms on May 1st, which I believe is Friday. I may put it out on Bandcamp a little earlier. So if you want to hear it sooner than that, follow me on Bandcamp.
For sure. All right, man. I really appreciate you.
My pleasure. All right, talk to you later.
Did I do it? Okay, hold on. I'm
Still recording.